Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching here the video, as you can tell, it is another edition of Beyond the Rope.
I'm Ethan,
I'm Rob.
and so this is a big week.
Yeah.
It's WrestleMania week for professional wrestling, so we have a lot of matches to get through. So I think we should definitely start with our kind of predictions and going over the feuds over the next 45 minutes or so.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's start with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which is taking place in the WrestleMania Kickoff Show, which is 2 hours long, starting 2 p.m. Western, or Pacific, and 5 p.m. Eastern. So over the last few weeks, we've had a few people announce their entry into the Battle Royal. Do you have any favorites going into this one?
Are you talking about that one called the Great Battle Royal, or?
The Andre the Giant one.
Oh man, that. I like the idea that last time they had Mojo Rawley, a lesser known name, win this. So I think that's what it is now. It's become that developmental type thing where you can help someone stand out.
Right. Baron Corbin actually made his debut at WrestleMania on the main roster, winning the Battle Royal 2 years ago. So definitely building names. We've had Cesaro win it, and then we've had more established guys like Big Show also win it. So do you have any predictions on who's going to win that one? Any favorites?
If only Bobby Roode can go in, that'd be nice.
He's already booked.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh man, that's gonna be. What about if Johnny loses at
Johnny Gargano?
Yeah.
Do you think?
So that he can go in.
Oh, that's an interesting prediction. I haven't heard that one. You gonna pick him?
Yeah.
That's kind of a dark horse right there. I didn't even think about that, but that's interesting. We'll talk about NXT TakeOver in a little bit as well, and we'll give our predictions for that. But, it's a stacked WrestleMania card, so we want to make sure we get through that first. I'm picking Woken Matt Hardy. I feel like he's been doing a lot the last several weeks, especially with the Ultimate Deletion. I feel like it's kind of a reward for him he was trending #1 on Twitter worldwide a few weeks ago, and it's kind of it's a step down from last year when he made his surprise return with his brother Jeff. So, I think he should definitely win this one, but who knows? It's really up in the air. It's kind of really tough to tell who's going to win in this Battle Royal. Several names have yet to be announced, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But continuing on with the kickoff show, we're going to have another Battle Royal, the first ever WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. And in this one, pretty much everyone who isn't on the main card and is a female is in this match. And I'm picking Becky Lynch to win the first ever WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal.
Ooh.
Who do you have for that one?
That is really something. There's so many talented female wrestlers out there, but I like the idea that there'd be somebody who... Okay, who are all the contestants so far?
So we have Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose from Absolution. We have the Riot Squad. We have Bayley, Sasha Banks. We have, I believe, Alicia Fox is in it. I'm not sure if she's still injured or not. We have Mickie James, Natalya, Carmella. Pretty much everyone. I think Lana is in it. She might be in it. So I think those are all the names that have been announced so far. I don't know if there's going to be any surprises. Maybe another NXT call-up. But those are the ones that I'm aware of right now.
And Sonya, isn't she the one that has the MMA background?
Sonya has the MMA background. She did have a few fights.
I think that would be pretty good to give her a little bit more credibility.
Yeah, I think Sonya Deville's going to take it. So another NXT alum. That's really cool. Alright, and then we're going to get into the Cruiserweight Championship match between Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. Now, these two have had stellar matches in the past, and this Cruiserweight Championship tournament has been one of the highlights of 205 Live and probably WWE entirely. So I'm going with Cedric Alexander on this part because I feel like he's one of the most underrated individuals on the roster.
Is that one? Yeah, I'm a little distracted. You talk about Mustafa Ali, right?
Mustafa Ali has definitely come up in the last.
Man. His athleticism also is. They're both so incredibly talented that it's a tough call for that one.
It's a shame that this is on the kickoff show because WrestleMania is such a stacked card, and this has the potential of stealing the show.
Yeah.
And I've seen on Twitter and social media a lot of people complaining that this match should be on the main card. Because cruiserweights the last few months have been really picking it up for 205 Live, and it's been an interesting development building that brand. So yeah, it is a tough call to make. I'm going with Cedric.
Yeah, I think.
You think Cedric? I think that makes the most sense. I think Mustafa will definitely give him a tough fight, and I think he will be a cruiserweight champion at some point. I just don't think it's his time just yet. And now we're moving to the main card, at least the matches so far announced for the main card. We're going to start with the Raw Tag Team Championship match. The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro versus Braun Strowman and a mystery partner. So first,
The rumors.
I'm guessing the mystery partner is going to be Samoa Joe.
Oh, really? Okay, now that's one that I didn't think of.
He's been out of action for a few months due to injury, and he has been cleared. He was at Raw this past week. He wasn't on TV, obviously.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to send someone healthy.
Absolutely.
Because the rumored one isn't healthy.
I have not heard who the rumored one is.
Rey Mysterio.
Okay, I read something like that. He said that he wasn't going to be at WrestleMania, so who knows.
Oh,
I
man.
doubt he would be because he is injured.
And, I don't understand, why didn't he elect to go ahead and have the surgery?
It's a risk. I mean, he's older, so I don't know. It might take longer to recover, but, who knows. Yeah, so I'm guessing Samoa Joe because, talk about a dominant tag team right there. And I'm picking Braun and his mystery partner to win.
Yeah.
And so who do you have on that?
Yeah, it would definitely be Braun. It would be funnier, though, if he tries to hog the belts, though, on purpose, from his partner, wear them both.
That would not be surprising. So we're both saying Braun. So far we differ on a couple, and we're picking the same ones, but yeah, definitely I think Braun is overdue for a championship reign.
Oh, yeah.
The last year he's been one of the most dominant and prominent figures in WWE, so it's interesting that he's in this match, but nonetheless he is in a championship match at WrestleMania, so that's really cool. Next, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship in a triple threat match. The Usos finally get their first WrestleMania match on the main card, defending their tag team titles against Bludgeon Brothers and the New Day. This one I'm really having a hard time picking one. I ended up picking the Bludgeon Brothers just because they've gotten this push recently as a dominant tag team, and I feel it'd be we need some heels to win at WrestleMania.
I think the Usos need a moment.
You think they're going to retain?
Yeah.
That's a possibility. Again, yeah, they haven't gotten really that WrestleMania main card moment, and so that makes sense. I think this has a potential again to be a show-stealing match. Probably, the entire weekend could be this. This match could be the entire weekend's match. But it's been a good build-up. All the teams look strong. Usos and New Day have had a rivalry over the last year for those tag team titles. Adding the Bludgeon Brothers just makes it even more interesting. Now we're going to move on to another SmackDown match, a United States Championship Fatal 4-Way match. It was announced last week that Rusev was added to this match, and Randy Orton will be defending against Jinder Mahal, Bobby Roode, and again Rusev. So this one's another tough one. I really can't put my finger on who can come out on top on this one. So, Do you have any predictions for that one?
Yeah, you could see him now, right?
Okay, there we go.
So, what match did you say right now?
The Fatal 4-Way, United States title match.
Okay, and the contestants?
Bobby Roode, Randy Orton, Rusev, and Jinder Mahal.
Bobby.
That was my pick too. I feel like it's a little too obvious though. I want to see Jinder, just because I feel like he'll sneak a win.
I mean, he could easily, win it back like at a later time.
Right.
But I just feel that the fact that Jinder has had very high success, it wouldn't hurt to let Bobby have this moment.
Mm-hmm. Especially, I mean, Bobby's 40 years old. There's not that many more moments he's gonna have. It's interesting that Rusev was added because
it was too over.
There's rumors that Rusev was added to this match because of his merchandise sales with the Happy Rusev Day shirts, and that's why he's getting a push. He's overly popular right now with the crowd, so we're going to be hearing a lot of Rusev Day chants this Sunday. But I too am going with Bobby Roode. Moving on to the Raw side, the Intercontinental Championship triple threat match between the current champion, The Miz, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. I have Finn Balor going over.
Yes.
You too? That was a very... He needs his WrestleMania moment. Last year he was out with an injury, so we didn't get to see Balor at Mania. Miz has been champion for quite some time, and he will, without a doubt...
We have an audience member who thinks Big Show will be Braun's partner.
That's what I've heard too. Well, thank you for chiming in. Yeah, I mean, talk about giants colliding right there. I mean, they had some great matches last year, so that is definitely a possibility. But going back to the IC title match, I think Finn is going to take it. Seth had his moment last year, made a strong comeback, and Miz has had his moments as well. So I think Finn's going to take it. We're getting some more comments here.
They were, I think, plugging the podcast.
Oh, awesome. Raw Women's Championship match, Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. So, who do you have in that one? I have Nia Jax dominating.
Nia needs her moment already.
Again, Alexa Bliss has been a champion for a majority of 2017 and into this year as well. And she's done a phenomenal job. She's one of my favorite individuals on the roster currently. But Nia Jax, I mean, she is the irresistible force, and I think it's about time she gets that moment, especially at the grandest stage of them all. So we're going with Nia Jax there.
To complete it. Oh, okay. We have an audience member who says that Rollins just needs the IC title to be a Grand Slam.
That's right. That's right. He's the only member of the Shield that has not won the Grand Slam. Dean and Roman have both captured every major title. So, but I think they're going to hold off on that for a little bit longer. The SmackDown Women's Championship, The Streak versus the title, Charlotte Flair versus the undefeated Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. I have Asuka remaining undefeated here.
Yes, it's too early to break the streak.
I think she needs another year of...
Carmella cashes in. Oh, we got a great prediction here from an audience member.
I thought about that, the Carmella cash-in. I think that's a possibility on the Raw side.
That would be quite the upset, though, knowing Asuka, keeps her streak, but all of a sudden, just for it to be tarnished right away with it.
I feel like that would mess up her streak.
But it would lead to quite the rivalry.
It would.
Lead to another pay-per-view.
It would. My concern is it would just completely ruin Asuka if she were to be cashed in. But it would also make sense that after a tiring match, I mean, losing the streak like that would be interesting. However, I feel like this match is too big for that Money in the Bank right now. At least for WrestleMania. I feel like Carmella could use it on maybe a Raw or SmackDown. I don't know if she would end up being successful, but...
Yeah, WWE has a history of having the shows right after be big, too.
Absolutely. I was thinking about that as well.
What if Asuka wins, cashes in? Yeah, the comment went so fast.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Periscope. These comments go by so quickly.
Absolutely. And how can they find us on Periscope?
The location is on. They will find a live pro wrestling radio talk show.
Awesome. And moving on, so we're both saying Asuka there. The tag team match, if Kevin and Sami win, they get reinstated to SmackDown Live. It'll be the returning Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a tag team match.
I've heard an interesting rumor that it's a Shane. You know, I didn't expect this because people were talking for a while saying that Daniel was going to turn.
Right.
But now that he got medically cleared, there's talk that Shane is going to turn so that people can cheer more for Bryan.
I was thinking about that. I mean, I think it would be a mistake to turn Bryan.
Some audience member disagreed that it's Sami and Kevin win thanks to Shane's heel turn.
I was saying Sami and Kevin win. However, I don't know if it's going to be a heel turn, but I definitely can't see that happening. I've heard those rumors as well. You can't turn Daniel Bryan heel because he is just so popular. It makes sense for Shane to turn heel, but at the same time, it doesn't just because of what Sami and Kevin have done to him.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me think there won't be a heel turn. I just think Sami and Kevin will just dominate the match and win.
I mean, this has gone on for months, the idea that the two authority figures, they couldn't stay like as good guy characters for long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah? So who do you have in this one?
Sami and Kevin win.
Alright, so another thing is, I was thinking if Sami and Kevin lose, it does say that they wouldn't be back to SmackDown. It doesn't say anything about going to Raw. So that's something that threw me off. So it's also like, well, they could lose, but they'll still end up on Raw. Because they specifically said they cannot be on SmackDown Live if they lose. So, but we're both saying Sami and Kevin.
I mean, you would think it's almost going to be time for another, roster shakeup.
I believe that's happening in a few weeks, actually. It hasn't been announced yet, but it's being rumored that way. So I think another superstar shakeup will happen in the next few weeks. Probably 2 or 3 weeks from now. And continuing on with tag team matches, the mixed tag team match, the debut of Ronda Rousey teaming with Olympic gold medalist and Raw general manager Kurt Angle, taking on Stephanie McMahon and Triple H.
Again, I like the idea of Ronda just betraying Kurt.
You think she would?
I really like that idea.
I don't think that's going to happen. She's not going to lose her first match.
But I mean, she'll go over big time. It's the idea that, oh man, she joined the bad guys.
Do you think she would turn heel on her first night? I don't know. She's still somewhat over. I mean, she needs work on her mic skills, but I feel like
we have an audience member agreeing about that.
With the heel turn?
Did the McMahon,
the
Stephanie
McMahon?
And Triple H win thanks to a Ronda heel turn?
I want Stephanie and Triple H to win just because it's, you don't really see the heels going over that often.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it is Ronda's debut, and her losing on that would just ruin her. So I'm going with, Ronda and Angle. Who do you have?
Oh, comment went by too quick. Stephanie and Triple H.
All right. So we're going different there, so that's good. I'm glad we're not agreeing on everything. I personally would prefer to see Stephanie and Triple H go over, but we'll see.
Make a better heel. Thank you. Yes, another audience member agrees.
What
that
happened?
Ronda would make a wonderful heel.
I think she would too, but she needs a manager or something. So
I know, but everybody was thinking the assumption that Paul Heyman's gonna manage her, but I think Paul's contract expires with Brock's.
that's what I read earlier, that Paul Heyman's last night could be WrestleMania along with Brock, and we'll get into that match actually right now, the Universal title match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Are we going to disagree on Roman going over, or?
I don't imagine the title just simply being vacated because Brock's contract ends. It had no choice but to do the right thing for business and drop the belt.
Yeah, Brock's losing it. Whether
really?
Whether people
Interesting
like him or not.
audience member prediction.
What's
It
predicted?
is Paul Heyman who betrays Brock to lose.
That's what I've been hearing too. However, because Paul Heyman's contract does end along with Brock's, I think he's leaving. I think he's done. So I don't see that happening. Although I would like to see a Roman heel turn. I mean, there's a lot of like heel turn, assumptions happening this weekend.
I hear that Paul already has a project in the works that he wants to like.
I think he's doing a TV show.
Yeah.
So he's probably on his way out, definitely.
Unless
for sure.
they somehow manage to. Paul has hinted at staying around. Really?
Has he
Okay,
hinted?
so if he does betray Brock and help Roman Reigns win this wrestling match and becomes his manager and turns Roman to the dark side, that'd be something.
I want to see a heel Roman Reigns, but regardless, we both agree he's winning.
Yeah.
So, what happens after or during, I don't know, it could go either way.
And now, how about what kind of surprises will we see at WrestleMania? I'm going to say the repackaged Bray Wyatt coming back.
That's interesting. But it'd be interesting if they put him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I don't see where else he would fit.
Oh, yeah, and there's also talk that Vince has chosen not to announce that Undertaker will be around and just let it be a surprise.
Oh, yeah, and I was going to get to that. Undertaker versus John Cena, because that's likely going to happen if they've been pushing it. And it's been rumored that it's going to be Biker Undertaker versus John Cena, which you don't want to see?
No, I like the whole dead man gimmick. I don't understand why he would go from you show up as a zombie dude. It's like
he retired.
He
kind of retired that gimmick last year when he lost to Reigns, and it also makes sense with Kid Rock being inducted into the Hall of Fame. That theme song went with the biker gimmick, and so this match is going to happen whether it was promoted or not. I'm saying Undertaker wins because I don't know why he would come back just to lose another match. What do you say here?
If it happens, the match?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Oh, Undertaker needs to win. There's no way the Undertaker can just keep on losing to people now.
No.
I mean, he was synonymous with being this undefeated guy who, for decades, has competed in the biggest pay-per-view of the entire industry. And for him, I mean, and not only that, I mean, I felt that if Undertaker did have one more match in him, it wasn't going to be Cena that should get that shot at him. Cena's already super decorated with all kinds of accolades. He doesn't need to be fed the Undertaker.
Absolutely. And I haven't been a fan of this build. I understand Cena's just been cutting promos, but I don't really like the approach they've been taking on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Undertaker definitely needs to win.
And I think just for fun, just for humor, just because of all the social media going on, there's a run-in from the Hurricane.
He's been wanting to get that match. Maybe we'll see some surprises in Battle Royal, so we'll see.
Great audience interaction, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and sending comments. We are reading them or watching as we're going along with the show. For those of you watching the video, don't worry. You don't have to wonder why is there no color in the video. It's just a theme we decided to go for, something different.
Black and white?
Yes.
All right, cool. And you can find us on Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, where you will find those videos and our predictions, which I will post after the show. And you can also follow us on Twitter at EthanNV95.
Follow me at Rob Flores Media.
And so those are our Twitter accounts. Make sure to interact with us. I will try and live tweet at WrestleMania. We've got one more match to discuss, and that is the main event, or what's supposed to be the main event, the WWE Championship match between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. I have Shinsuke winning.
Yes, Shinsuke must win. It's definitely a must.
He needs to win. They haven't done anything with him since they brought him up to the main roster. He won the Rumble, obviously, but before that, he wasn't doing much.
How about if the club costs AJ?
I don't see them getting the ball. I think it's just going to be a pure...
I mean, the idea that they want to introduce more cross-promotion, joint brands.
They're doing that, but I don't know if we're going to see specific... I know we're going to see a shared pay-per-view. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of crossover unless they just stop the brand the brand split, which I don't see because there's so many individuals on the roster right now. So it's really tough to tell if that's going to happen.
This will be what was Wrestle Kingdom.
I can see the club getting involved in the triple threat IC title match with Finn, and because they are part of Balor Club. So
yeah, someone would have. It's because
the Miztourage
is such a great superstar, but I feel like we need to also use this moment to tie into the next pay-per-view. So it has to be that somebody costs AJ the match just so that AJ can have a totally separate program.
Or they could switch brands if they're doing the superstar shakeup. I mean, that's literally all they have to do. Just switch brands and then that's it. They don't need to have that rematch or continue that feud. I mean, it would be awesome. I think they've done a great job for what they've had. And so, I think I've heard rumors that the Universal title match will be the closing match. I would hope it's an AJ Shinsuke match.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole... Otherwise, that's like false advertising with the whole idea that they always say the Royal Rumble winner main events.
Yep, but of course, we've heard rumblings that Roman needs to close the show for whatever reason.
Oh.
Yeah, which I totally disagree, and I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
AJ Shinsuke should be the main event, but we'll see. Nonetheless, it'll probably still a show.
Yeah.
I've said that about 3 or 4 matches already, but any one of those matches can really
And
take
we definitely
the
need
show.
a nice debut from someone.
Again, I think the Battle Royal is the place to do it. It's on the kickoff show, but that's where you've seen guys like Killian Dane. I mean, last year Killian Dane was in the match. Baron Corbin won and made his debut in the match, so we'll see. But speaking of NXT, we also have NXT TakeOver New Orleans this Saturday. I believe it's 5 p.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Really?
And we've got a number
We
of...
have an audience member saying Bobby Lashley comes back.
I feel like they might see... If that's true, it'll happen the night after WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to happen at WrestleMania because it's such a stacked card.
Yeah,
already.
but I mean, the idea of causing shocks, like the biggest wrestling event ever, that would be wow.
I don't know if they want to throw out that many for Mania because they do save some surprise debuts the night
Yeah,
after.
titles change hands usually the week after.
Yeah, they'll happen both WrestleMania and the night after. We've seen it happen a number of times in the past. And it'll be interesting to see, especially with the NXT TakeOver happening, who gets called up next week. And so with NXT TakeOver, we have a new championship being debuted. It is the NXT North American Championship in a ladder match. 6 superstars will be involved. They're debuting Ricochet, one of the most popular indie wrestlers, taking on Killian Dane from Sanity, Lars Sullivan, EC3, who also recently made his debut, Velveteen Dream, who had Rivalry of the Year last year in NXT, and Undisputed Era's Adam Cole.
This is a tough one because I feel that it should be between Ricochet and
EC3?
yes.
Well, it makes sense because they're both debuting. I'm going the other way. I'm going with Adam Cole. He is the slimy heel who can easily sneak up. And we found out this past week on NXT, he's pulling double duty. So I feel like he's going to be the one to just sneak up and take that North American Championship. It's in his character to do so. I'm going with Adam Cole from Undisputed Era. But I can see the argument, Ricochet or EC3.
Yeah.
Taking that one. So who do you have there? Getting some more comments here.
That he's not walking out with 2 goats.
What happened?
We got an audience member that says that Adam Cole will not walk out with 2 belts that night.
Oh, no, he won't. He's walking out with the North American Championship. My prediction for the tag team title match is going to be totally different. So, I'm saying he's walking out the NXT North American Championship. Who do you have for that one?
EC3.
EC3? Alright. It'd be a great comeback for him. The Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals and the NXT Tag Team title match will be decided In a triple threat, the Undisputed Era, obviously Bobby Fish was injured from the Undisputed Era, so Adam Cole, as we mentioned, will be in that match, teaming up with Kyle O'Reilly to defend those titles against the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor, and the makeshift tag team of the United Kingdom champion Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. That'll be an intense match. It was just announced last night on NXT. I'm going with Dunne and Strong. I don't think that's likely just because they're a makeshift tag team, but I'm going that way because, again, Adam Cole, I feel like is going to win that North American title, and I don't think he's going to, carry both the tag team and North American title, which is why I'm going the other way. Why I'm going with Dunne and Strong. Who do you have?
Yeah, Dunne and Strong.
Then again, Pete Dunne also has the UK title, so he could be. Yeah, that's another thing I was wondering. It's not going to go Authors of Pain. They're going to move out to the main roster soon. I feel like it could be as early as Monday that they'll be up there.
I feel people that lose matches at this event are coming to the main roster the following week already.
I feel like there'll definitely be a couple of big ones.
I mean, I've been wanting for the longest for Sanity to come to the WWE main rosters.
I think it's time. They're not doing anything with Eric Young or Alexander Wolf, who have been tag team champions. Nikki Cross has not done anything in the women's division recently, and the only one that's had a feud is Killian Dane. He's in that ladder match, but again, he's not winning any titles. So
all the talk that Alberto's coming back.
I don't think that's happening. They've got Andrade Cien Almas who can play the exact same role, and I feel like even better.
To go visit Vince.
Oh, really? Did
Yeah.
you see that? No, I did not hear about that.
Yeah, the Vince is the one that insisted on them bringing him back.
Vince is a big fan of Del Rio. Triple H is not. So that's interesting. I honestly don't want to see Del Rio back. I don't think
what
he
if
fits.
it's a thing of him and almost having...
I mean, that might make things better. I feel like they'll clash more. I think Andrade has really built that reputation of, international superstar. And he has Zelina Vega, who's done a phenomenal job being his kind of manager and associate.
You heard that? Somebody said Vince is the head honcho and whatever he says goes.
It's true. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I don't know if they're going to want to pair Andrade and Alberto together. I don't know.
The idea of developing a superstar by having them beat a seasoned veteran.
Well, if you're doing it like that, then sure. But I don't know. Together as in a team, I'm saying it's.
Oh yeah, not
I
together.
don't think no.
A rivalry.
A rivalry might work, but right now, he's a top heel in NXT. Andrade is, and so Del Rio would have to come back as a face, and I don't know how many people would really buy that, especially with, his relationship with Paige, his past relationship with Paige. I don't know. It's kind of tough.
Wants to end his career in
So,
WWE.
We'll have to wait and see.
An audience member says that Alberto, it makes sense that he wants to come to WWE for retirement.
Yeah, he is older. He is older, so that would make sense. Everyone kind of wants to end it on the big stage, so
I think they could see that for a bit.
we'll see. We'll see how that happens, if that happens. I know Del Rio's still in Impact, correct? I don't know. I thought he was. He might have left. Who knows? Everyone leaves. Okay, so we've got new tag team champions. We're predicting NXT Women's Championship match: Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon. I agree with you on that one. I think Ember Moon's going to be called up. I think Ember Moon could be in that WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal as well. I think Shayna is going to establish herself as really dominant heel in the women's division.
Who would you imagine joining NXT? Because just like there's names all of a sudden that pop up on the main roster, there's always a big indie person that joins NXT to make a surprise appearance.
I don't know if we're going to have anyone this time, just because we recently had War Machine could appear. I don't think. Well, they've already signed, obviously, but they could appear at Takeover in some capacity. Maybe Attack, the new tag team champions.
Oh, you know what's another big rumor? What if Braun's partner is the returning Neville?
I think I might have heard something like that, but it's like very minimal. I don't know. That I would be on board with that. I mean,
we've even heard of talk about how like people have been a big name and they decide to go when they come back instead go NXT like Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre, yeah, he rebuilt his brand elsewhere and came to NXT. He should be returning too as well, so it'll be interesting if they bring him up straight to the main roster or if he just goes back to NXT. But yeah, I don't know, Braun Strowman's tag team partner, that's really could be a major surprise. Who knows? Unsanctioned match. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. This is the biggest feud of NXT in the last probably year. Yeah, I'm going with Tommaso Ciampa. The story behind this is one of the best built stories I can think of in WWE in recent history. Dating back to last year in Chicago, around June, July, it's without a doubt one of the strongest told stories.
Someone says Ciampa wins, but Gargano goes to 205 instead of the main roster.
He's going to 205. I mean, he's going to help make that brand big. I mean, it's starting to get really popular. I don't know if you saw it this week, that main event. That main event, you need to watch that main event between Buddy Murphy and Kalisto. That's a phenomenal match. They're building 205 Live as kind of a stronger brand now that Triple H is in charge. I do believe Johnny Gargano will appear in 205 Live at some point in the near future.
Well, someone says that it's the idea that 205 is part of the main roster. 205 is tied to Raw.
It's tied to it, but they focused, they're focusing more on the brand more than just appearing on Raw, and especially in recent weeks with that tournament that they've had. So
he'd be a Raw star.
Essentially, he would appear on Raw. I mean, but it'd be in the confine of the cruiserweight division, which I'd be fine with. I think he could get lost in the shuffle if he appears on the actual main roster, So, and he's a phenomenal wrestler, so he'll put on great matches with the rest of the cruiserweights.
Okay, we got another prediction. James Storm shows up.
He was backstage on Raw or SmackDown in recent weeks, I heard. He had a brief appearance in NXT a few years ago. I think he had like 1 or 2 matches, and then he re-signed with Impact shortly after. So we could see James Storm. James Storm could be that person in the audience that we see at NXT TakeOver. So we'll see. Finally, the main event, the NXT Championship match, Andrade Cien Almas with Zelina Vega taking on Aleister Black. I've got Aleister winning here.
Yeah.
He made his debut a year ago at the TakeOver for WrestleMania last year. So it really come full circle for him. Not to mention, I think it's time we see Andrade on the main roster in the next week or so. So this has been a pretty good feud. Not the strongest, but it's been a really good one. And if you watch NXT and you watch the TakeOvers consistently, you'll know that just because the builds may not be all that great, the matches that they put on a TakeOver are some of the best matches you'll see in professional wrestling. So
we have like 5 minutes left, but obviously for those of you who know that or don't know that WrestleMania weekend obviously is the biggest event of the wrestling industry, but there's also the Hall of Fame, and I think there's more inductors now than inductors that got confirmed. Big Show is
inducting Mark Henry. So, I mean, WrestleMania week starts, it's been in full effect, but as of today, WrestleMania Access has begun if you're in New Orleans. It'll happen all the way until Sunday. Then you've got the Hall of Fame tomorrow. Big Show will induct Mark Henry. Jeff Jarrett was recently on SmackDown backstage, And so I believe he'll be inducted by Road Dogg, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Who?
Road Dogg. Jeff Jarrett will be
That
inducted.
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
They have quite the friendship, long-lasting friendship.
They have a history as well on WWE television. I'm not sure who else has been announced as. Oh, Paul Heyman will induct Goldberg. That was
Yeah.
confirmed. Apparently, they do have kind of a backstage, behind-the-scenes backstory.
Yeah, he planned the whole rivalry.
That whole rivalry that Goldberg had with Brock Lesnar was Paul Heyman, so he will be inducting Goldberg into that. So that'll be tomorrow night on the WWE Network. NXT TakeOver will be on Saturday on the WWE Network, and WrestleMania, starting with the kickoff show at 2 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a long show. It's going to be an all-day event. I can't wait to just hang out, eat some food, enjoy some wrestling, some surprises, hopefully, some match of the year candidates, hopefully, and that should be really, really fun. Any last-minute words we've had to say about this? Maybe the Raw after Mania. Any predictions on who we have debuting on Raw, 205 Live, and SmackDown?
Like I said, Sanity.
You want Sanity? I want Sanity too. I don't know where they would end up though. I feel like maybe Raw, just because they could afford a big group like that.
Super Card of Honor predictions people want.
I don't know. I only know Kenny versus Cody. Kenny Omega versus Cody, which I think Kenny will win.
Really? I think Cody.
Really? You think? Well, that's a possibility. The Bullet Club is not fine, despite what Cody says. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know what other matches are happening. I'm sure the Young Bucks are probably having a match, as they always do. We're almost out of time, so we don't have time to really look into that. And
oh, here's another big one. Cody says he's confirming that he would definitely like to add more women to. He would like to add women to the faction of his group.
Bullet Club?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
what
I don't know.
superstars can you think of that are part of Ring of Honor?
I don't know that many individuals, especially women competitors. That would be. I mean, obviously, Brandy, his wife, is involved. I don't know if she's an official member. Everyone that joins has their own shirt, so I don't know any other names I can think of right now. I feel like Bullet Club is slowly dissolving, especially with Kenny reuniting with Kota Ibushi, and the Young Bucks kind of doing their own thing. Cody has his kind of sub-faction with Hangman Page and all that. So, a lot to expect this coming weekend. We've had, you mentioned Super Card of Honor. There's also going to be a few tournaments happening at WrestleMania Access for the UK title, the NXT Tag titles, and the NXT Women's Championship. And so we can probably talk about that next week's episode, along with the WrestleMania results, NXT TakeOver results, our Raw and SmackDown recaps, as well as 205 Live and NXT. But we're just about out of here, correct? Any more words? Are you excited for WrestleMania? You gonna watch it?
Oh man, that's gonna be really something. But now, do the network people automatically get it, or you have to pay?
No, absolutely. Once you get the network, you're watching it. You get everything. You get all the pay-per-views. So make sure to watch that. Make sure to watch NXT TakeOver New Orleans, because it has a history of stealing the show and being better than the main roster pay-per-view. So, and they've got some really good matches this TakeOver. So, yeah, you can definitely watch it. Watch the pre-show there as well. It's on there. So, take advantage of that. And I think we're just about out of here. Any last words here?
What about Brother Nero?
Is he going to come back? That's a good question. We forgot about Jeff Hardy, Brother Nero. I feel like he'll come back the night after Mania. I think they're going to hold off on that, because they usually have a few returns in addition to surprise debuts the night after Mania. So, yeah, I think we're just about finished here. This has been a fun and packed episode. I mean, talk about WrestleMania week. next week is going to be even busier because we got to go through all these matches as well.
Yep.
So until next time, until next week, I'm Ethan.
I'm Rob.
And you can give us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. Like our page. And until next time, this episode has been too sweet. And have a great WrestleMania weekend.